I'm Josh.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Christian.
And we're
Humor, Haunts, and Homicide. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Humor, Haunts, and Homicide, Season 4, Episode 2, with your four favorite co-hosts, Josh, Dylan Compton, and Christian and Stacy Garcia. What do we have for our segment of What's on Our Mind this week?
You know, I was trying to think about what I want to talk about, and Dylan had said something to me last week that made me think about my childhood fear that ultimately still haunts me. I used to get so creeped out when I was watching scary movies as a kid because my parents either A, weren't paying attention or didn't give a shit that I was watching them. So
Nice.
I would just binge them. And somewhere along the way, I became a true crime junkie, which obviously led me to this podcast creation. But I lock my doors so fucking much to the point where I will triple lock them. I will make sure the windows are locked at least once a week. I will check everything. We have alarms on our house. Every door sensor, window sensor, you name it, is activated. And, you know, I could give a shit less if anyone thinks I'm psychotic because I'm alive and people are crazy. And Dateline has told me that I need to be this way. So that is the childhood fear that still haunts me.
And no one is going to be getting you.
You know what? Thank you, friend.
You're welcome.
You know, at this point, come get me.
Right. Can we come live with you too? I want to feel safe.
Come on, all the lezzies. Come on.
Yes.
I mean, if it's my time to go, I mean, hey.
Right, right.
But if it's not, I'm going to be with Josh.
That's right. And we got a gun. We got so many knives. I watched Buffy my entire life. Xena Warrior Princess. Charmed. I am so ready to beat some ass. It's not even funny.
Oh, yeah. SVU, Criminal Minds. We're ready.
Well, Dylan, you and I are going to be zombies during the apocalypse. A bitch is tired.
Christian and I are taking celebrity shots with back to back, and we have our pistols up by our chest.
Kind of like you do on Fortnite.
Speaking of Fortnite, why don't you ladies talk to us about your journey of your new obsession, and what that's done for you?
You guys have all been trying to get me to play for I don't even know how long. And this past weekend, you got me to play. Stacy got me to play. And since then, I've been addicted. And then now playing the teams with you guys, it's just, at least it's a healthy addiction, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, not freaking how healthy this was at 5 a.m. when all of a sudden I hear rage controlling, like with the PlayStation controller, just complete rage with the buttons. And at first it was all nice and soft, and I'm like, okay, this isn't going to bother me. Then 5 minutes later, I'm wide awake at 5:05 a.m. and she's at the foot of the bed playing freaking Fortnite.
Well, I had to defend myself. I was getting shot at.
I second her. And, it was funny that next morning, I was literally waking up at 8:21, and I look at my phone to a message, and I didn't know if I had just gotten it or if it was there already. And you had sent it at the exact minute I woke up, and I was like, this is weird. And it said, ready to play some morning Fortnite. I was like, all right, Dylan, wake up. We got to get Fortnite. And he's like, really? Already? I'm like, the girls are demanding, and who are we to let them down,
Right, we're ready to go, especially me.
Yeah, so thanks for introducing us to Josh, because holy crap.
Yeah, I've been only trying to get you guys to play for since I've known Christian, and 3, 5 plus, I don't even know, forever since I've known Stacey. Whenever we get to pass on this tradition of Fortnite, it just never really leaves, because then you get all these custom skins, you build onto these characters you want, and then you're like, I don't ever need to buy anything else. I got everything I want. 2 weeks later, they come out with something, you're like, I didn't even know I needed you. Great, got it by you. So they've got a method to their madness, and let me tell you, it's fucking on point, obviously, because they've created 4 monsters, and here we are. But we have a good time playing it. We get to connect it even further. Not only do we play Mario Party together, we have a podcast together. We talk pretty much every day, multiple times a day. It just adds to the layer of our awesome relationship that we have, and we have a lot of fun. And we don't even yell at each other. This is one of those games that we get along, and we have teamwork, and we communicate. It's weird. I know.
Hold on a second. Are we talking about the same game? We're still talking about Fortnite?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you and Stacy get into it quite often.
It's mainly Stacy getting into it with me because I'm a victim.
Really, it's me running, looking up at the sky. Where are you guys?
I'm like, look at your fucking marker. And Christian, the newbie who's been playing 3 weeks less than Stacy, is like, yeah, just come over here and do this thing with that button and jump this high in this degree. Yeah.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so thanks for that. Instead of, meth or crack, it's just Fortnite.
Yep. 5 a.m. Fortnite.
I mean, like you said, the addiction could always be worse. I mean,
Very true.
Yep.
At least we're not doing Fenty folds on camera with each other.
Oh my gosh. Hell no.
That's funny. So who's next for what is on your mind this week?
I think it's Dylan. Dilgina.
yeah. So for me, it's, TikTok and reels when you're on Facebook. So I came across this reel for this new like stuffed animal thing that people are raving about and spending quite a bit of money on. They're called a Labubu.
A Lahuhu?
And they have these weird sharp teeth. It kind of reminds me of the girl Darla from Finding Nemo, where something about them it's creepy, and they come in different colors. It's really weird. So it's very creepy because, like, why would you want something like that in your house? Like, in the middle of the night, you wake up and this thing's just looking at you, and it's just got the same smile. I hate it. No.
Anything with it looks like real human teeth, and they're kind of like dingy and gross. Why does anybody want to snuggle with that? Old people, gross teeth? Nah.
I think about, yes, they're creepy and they're ugly, but I look at the things around my house, and I've got Jack Skellington pretty much in every room. We have steampunk, all kinds of crazy greatness that are, some people would consider that weird and creepy because it could be. Some of the designs are a little off the wall. But ultimately, we have not the most normal shit in my house.
I mean, as long as you don't have anything, with human teeth on it. But I think it's just equivalent to this generation's Furby, right? Because didn't the Furby freak us out?
Right. And the teeth, those only come out during Halloween. So we're good.
Or when you're asleep and the batteries are out.
Yeah. You'll be asleep at 2:00 in the morning and you hear the Furby going off in the toy box. Like, no one is playing with you. What? Who's touching the button to make it go off? Because it should not be going off at 2:00 in the morning. No.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, my thing this week was the fact that I have talked in previous episodes last season about the different shows and everything I'm into. Well, I just got to season 4, episode 2 of Gotham. And let me tell you, it's amazing. Like I'd say about halfway through season 3, I was just hooked again. Because again, it's like a little bit slower or whatever, introducing new characters. So now it introduced like Ivy, Poison Ivy, introduced her. We have the Penguin that came back from came back from death. And so it's just really, really interesting, and I cannot peel my eyes off of it.
Okay. I've never watched Gotham. I've never really been into DC, and mainly because I always felt like their powers were always so very human. I know there are some out there that do have mystical powers, but I always felt like Marvel had more of that mystical nature. So maybe that was it for me. But I mean, if you're telling it's good, and I'll give it a shot if you can maybe watch some of the recommendations I gave you, you little dick.
I know. Grosse Pointe Society was a really good episode for the first episode. I don't know why I couldn't carry on to. I think when I'm done with Gotham, I'll try out other episodes of other shows, hopefully, because I still go back to my good old faithful Big Bang Theory.
Oh my God.
What do you have for us this week, love?
Well, first of all, you are ridiculous with that fucking Big Bang.
I know.
But I do love it too. Mine, though, however, is the funniest thing my pet did, and Scrappy, I just love this little dude. He thinks he's 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and he can get whatever he wants. The birds, though, the crows especially, if they're flying over the yard, the house, and he sees them, man, he's tearing ass after this flying bird that he will never catch. Literally my favorite thing ever.
And he's not young by any means. I mean, he just runs across that yard.
Yes, he's 17, and he's just doing amazing. Knock on wood. Where's some wood?
Does he act at all like he's showing signs of aging, other than obviously visual?
Yeah, he's losing his hearing. I feel like he's almost 100% deaf. But, I mean, when we're, like, really yelling, he can hear us. And he has these tremors. Like, his head kind of just goes back and forth, and he loses his balance, and he tumbles sometimes. But other than that, he's perfectly healthy.
Stacey, you're always making fun of him. Leave him alone.
I call him a fat little burrito.
Well, that's because you and your sister want to feed him so many treats and people food.
Well, because he loves them.
Yeah, well, yes. But he would literally eat the whole bag of dog food that we get in one sitting.
We started getting him soft treats because we noticed he's starting to have an issue with one of the sides of his mouth because he had to have some teeth pulled. So now he can only chew, certain ways and stuff. For us to help him, we purchase like soft chew treats for him, and then Micah, who is our pit terrier, he gets the regular huge milk bones because he's fine.
He loves those things.
But I'll just throw like one at a time while Micah's chewing on his bone. I'll throw like about 5 to Scrappy, who's just catching them in the air.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't going blind, that's for sure.
Right. I'm like, we both have fun. It's fun when we get treats, so he's fine.
Earlier today, I let him outside, and this will be the last thing I say about him because I could just talk about this little guy forever. Yeah. My sister-in-law got a new dog and brought him over, and he obviously pottied in the yard, which, whatever. But Scrappy was not having it. Man, he was smelling the first spot. He took another pee over top of it. He found the other spot. He took a nice little shit. I was like, dude, this really is not your yard. It is our yard. But he's just kicking his little feet up, kicking the dirt. I love it. He's so territorial.
Imagine if humans acted like dogs did around each other. Imagine if like you were at my house and you used my bathroom and I was so mad to use my bathroom and I just decided to like go piss and shit right over where you just pissed right after you left the bathroom. In front of you, you got to see what I was doing to like say, fuck you, Christian, for pissing and shitting in my bathroom. And then play with each other.
Or if we're all at the dinner table eating and somebody's got a little bit of food aggression, you better watch out.
That would be me.
Yes, Miss Biter over here.
Oh, she had the milk next to her.
Yeah. No, I don't want that.
That's what I'm drinking right now, milk with ice.
Well, the girls go.
No, that's disgusting.
She made me get it this time.
I made you.
You did. You already know I don't like milk, let alone pouring it over ice.
You get my milk with ice or else.
Or else.
Kyle, like you're right. Let alone just like
watered down milk. My God.
Yum.
It takes a special kind of monster, you know.
I'm her.
You unhinged bitch.
All right, ladies, what do you have in store for our listeners today?
Well, I'm going to go first, and I am just going to start my story, and you guys will figure it out.
Okay, sassy.
Some places burn themselves into the earth, and some never stop burning. In the heart of Birmingham, Alabama, where steel once flowed like blood, stands a monument to a forgotten empire. Sloss Furnace. Forged in fire, fueled by sweat, haunted by stories that refuse to cool down. Ironworkers descended into a blistering underworld where the furnaces roared and safety was a myth whispered between shifts. Here, molten ore met human flimsiness, and in the shadows of the industry, some vanished without a trace. But the machines did not forget, and neither did the walls. Tonight, we step past the gates into a place where echoes linger and ghosts wear soot-stained coveralls. Sloss operated as a pig iron producing blast furnace from 1882 to 1971. Pig iron, also known as crude iron, is an intermediate good used by the iron industry in the production of steel. A blast furnace is a type of metallurgical furnace which refers to the science and technology of metal, including their extraction, purification, processing, and properties. It encompasses the study of how metals behave both physically and chemically, and how they can be used to create useful materials. The blast furnace is used for smelting pig iron, but also others such as lead and copper. And blast refers to the combustion air being supplied above atmospheric pressure. The two white well type furnaces were 60 feet tall and 18 feet wide. The blast furnace was initiated in April 1882, and the facility produced 24,000 tons of high-quality iron during its first year of operation.
A lot of fucking shit.
Hell yeah, it is. In the heat of the Industrial Revolution, pig iron equaled progress. It was a massive industry in the 1800s, but a wealthy plantation owner, James Withers Sloss, took a roundabout way of finding it. After serving in the Confederate Army, Sloss found success in railroad, but soon saw new potential in Birmingham. Knowing all the ingredients for pig iron were very plentiful, James founded the Sloss Furnace Company in 1880 and quickly started construction on his own massive blast furnace. By World War II, iron and steel work contained half of Birmingham's workforce, and Sloss remained a major player. It was also a very dangerous workplace where 47 workers had died in a 6-year period during the 1900s. Many employees were black, and segregation was strictly enforced. Workers at Sloss Furnace had to deal with separate washrooms, time clocks, and even separate company picnics until 1960. Sloss Furnace didn't last much longer, though. Ore from outside Alabama was more productive, and the industry shifted elsewhere. That and the U.S. Clean Air Act coming down on pollution closed Sloss Furnaces in 1970. After closing, it became one of the first industrial sites and the only blast furnace in the U.S. to be preserved and restored for public use. In 1981, the furnaces were designated a National Historic Landmark by the United States Department of the Interior. Though considered for demolition at one point, Sloss Furnace was saved in 1976 when a historic survey detailed the site's value. After voters approved $3 million for it, Sloss was updated into a museum that opened in 1983. Though considered for demolition at one point, Sloss Furnace was saved in 1976 when a historic survey detailed the site's value. After voters approved $3 million for it, Sloss was updated into a museum that opened in 1983, greeting countless tourists. But some who have toured Sloss Furnace say its old life may not be fully behind it. In June 2012, a formal groundbreaking ceremony was held at the site to commemorate the beginning of construction on a new 16,000 square foot visitor and education center to be located on the southwest corner of the property. The new complex, funded jointly by the City of Birmingham and the Sloss Foundation, hosts educational exhibits relevant to the site's history, administrative offices, as well as additional multi-purpose space for public events. Sloss Furnaces holds metal arts classes and events such as food festivals, fun runs, educational programs, weddings, and concerts, as well as historic night tours. Which I don't know about you guys, but I think we should do it.
I am down.
I'm always down to play with the ghost.
I'll be at the hotel.
Sloss Furnace is widely believed to be haunted due to its history of industrial accidents and worker deaths. Reports of paranormal activity include disembodied voices, shadowy figures, and physical sensations like being pushed. One of the facility's most famous spirits has a troubled beginning. The tale of James Slag Wormwood tells of a malicious and sadistic foreman for the furnace's graveyard in the early 1900s. It is said that he valued productivity over his workers' lives. Slag was cruel, pushing workers beyond safe limits, even in dangerous conditions like the upper floors of the furnaces, making accidental deaths and industrial maiming common. Dozens of workers died under his supervision in accidents, and many suffered horrific injuries. Fed up with their foreman's hideous ways, his workers shoved him off the side of the furnace tower to his death into a pool of molten iron and was incinerated instantly. And remember, these towers are 60 feet tall. Could you imagine how hot that fall must have been?
I mean, if you're going to treat your people like that, I mean, if I was an employee, can't say I wouldn't do it.
This shit is giving me like Candyman meets Nightmare Before Elm Street. Or Nightmare Before Elm Street. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm like mixing Nightmare Before Christmas and Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm calling it Nightmare Before Elm Street.
I love it.
I'm like, I don't remember that part at all in Nightmare Before Christmas.
What the fuck is that? Oh, God, that's good.
That's so funny. Many report a negative encounter with Slag, from strange feelings to full-fledged assaults. But the reality of this story has come under scrutiny in recent years. No one has presented evidence of Slag's life or death, and many figure his existence was an urban legend. The tale of Slag has been popularized in recent years by haunted houses on the property that have also been featured in TV shows. But despite Slag's questionable origin, many visitors to Sloss Furnace have reported dark, chilling encounters with him. And that begs the question, just who or what were they encountering? Auditory experiences are disembodied voices such as shouting, screaming, or whispered warnings, especially near the old casting areas. Some visitors have claimed to hear these voices telling them to mind the heat or push some steel, and some have reported objects being moved by an unseen force. Metal clanging together and footsteps are often heard when no one is present, usually during the quiet hours or the night tours that we're going to do. Visual hauntings are shadow figures. People report tall, dark silhouettes watching them from the catwalks or walking through the walls. Some have claimed to see a figure matching Slag's description, burned, disfigured, or in a foreman's outfit. And flashes of light or orbs, usually in photographs taken inside the furnace rooms, can be seen. Physical encounters are cold spots, dizziness, or feelings of being watched. Side note, guys, this is also something that gives me the heebie-jeebies. Does it to you guys too, or no?
I say it does, but I kind of thrive on that. Like, I want to know more. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm staying overnight, and I don't want to put myself in a position that is reporting, a lot of deaths repeated over time. But if I had a group of people with me and I knew that I had a camera crew recording it and I had my will in place and my life insurance in check, I'm good. Bring it on.
Just in case.
I would go. Just sign me up.
No, I'm good. Some stuff, yeah, okay, but the malicious spirits are the ones that get me. It's like, you're going to attach yourself and bring that shit to my home. And don't tell me to push steel. I'm not pushing shit for free.
Right. We do not work for free.
That's good.
Visitors have also reported being pushed or touched when no one is around. Paranormal investigators have claimed to be scratched or physically affected after provoking spirits. Well, no shit. Why would you provoke it?
What are you going to say? Here, ghost, but you can't fucking touch this. What's up?
Yeah, never mind. I'll push the steel.
Another report of a Sloss spirit is a former laborer, Theo Jowers, who also died falling into a molten metal pit, but at another local furnace. Though he died at another furnace, those who worked with him said he had a special connection to Sloss. After his death, many workers claimed to see Theo's specter working alongside them during the day, sometimes even speaking to them. In the rusted heart of Birmingham, where fire once forged steel and men dared fate in blistering heat, something lingers. Maybe it's memory, maybe it's myth, or maybe it's something else entirely. Keep your lights low, your mind open, and remember, the dead may rest, but not all of them stay quiet. And that is my story on Sloss Furnace.
Fucking Freddy Krueger's nightmare realm.
Yeah, pretty much. I could not imagine falling into a pit of molten metal that fucking hot.
Fun fact, Wormwood is Matilda's family's last name.
Oh my gosh.
You're Wormwood. Why don't you start acting like one?
Oh my gosh.
Matilda. I haven't heard that name in probably as long as it's been since I've seen the damn movie. Like when I was in 8th grade and maybe even 8. I don't even know. I'm 38, so... Whew.
Ew, I just watched it like a month ago.
Well, oh God, what was that old lady's name? Miss Kravitz or something?
Trenchbull?
That's the one.
That was a good story, love.
Thank you.
Yes, it was a great story. And like I said, I mean, if you're going to treat your employees the way he did, I mean, hey.
You're bound to get pushed.
Especially back then, since there was such a revolution to just be free. I think they just fucking broke, Yep,
with all the segregation and everything. I'm sure people were just fed up with it. They're like, we just want to live our fucking lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually a good thing that that's all he got, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
It was just a push.
I bet you they loved watching him just like melt back, the flesh from his bones and just be like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. That's right.
I wonder when he was falling, if like the skin, you could see it like peeling off of him.
And he's screaming, oh, help me.
My flesh is coming off.
We're dark here on Humor Haunts and Homicide. If you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
All right, my babe. What you got in store for us?
So my story takes place in Florida, Joshua and Dylan.
Okay.
It was a quiet morning in Wellington, Florida, until the doorbell rang. Marlene Warren smiled as she approached, expecting a surprise. And it was. A clown stood at her doorstep, holding balloons and flowers. Oh, how sweet, she said. Then the gun fired. The killer clown turned, walked calmly to a waiting car, and disappeared into the Florida heat. What followed was a decades-long mystery, tangled in secrets, affairs, and a shocking revelation. This is the story of the Florida Killer Clown, one of the most bizarre and haunting crimes in true crime history. 40-year-old Marlene Warren was a businesswoman who owned an apartment complex and ran a car dealership known as Bargain Motors alongside her husband and mother to 21-year-old Joe Aarons. She had been married to her husband Michael for 20 years. Marlene's favorite pastime hobby was painting clowns. She loved clowns, and everyone knew this. Joe describes his mother as a beautiful person, and she was incredibly loving and kind. On May 26, 1990, Marlene was murdered, shot point blank in her face, right in front of her son and a couple of his friends. Joe, 21 at the time, was recovering from a leg injury when he saw a white LeBaron pull into the driveway and saw a clown get out and walk up to their front door holding flowers and balloons. After his mother was shot, Joe was able to make it to the doorway to see what he thought looked like a 6-foot-tall Nope. 6-foot-tall man with brown eyes.
What's all brown?
Racist. 6-foot-tall man with brown eyes calmly walking back to the car and drive away. Joe saw a white face, orange hair, a red nose, and an orange smile. With black shoes and white gloves that appeared to be part of the rest of the clown suit the individual had on. Joe's friends hurry and phone 911 while Joe jumps into his car and tries to chase after the getaway car but ends up losing them and returns home. Marlene was then rushed to the hospital barely alive, where she was then put on life support. 2 days later, conveniently, because there was no change, she was removed from life support and died. Keep in mind, her husband, Michael Warren, was in charge of pulling the plug, okay?
Jeez.
Joe said, "I knew my life was about to change because she was no longer here to help me." During the police investigation, they stated that Marlene had no known enemies and that she lived in a secluded part of Palm Beach County. Police stated that this was not just a murder, that this was an assassination. During the investigation process, it was found that Michael and Marlene's marriage seemed ideal on the outside, of course. However, close friends and relatives of Marlene knew otherwise because Marlene herself confided in them. Even people that worked with Michael at the dealership knew something was wrong in his marriage to Marlene because of his actions at work. They started observing Michael's behavior around an employee named Sheila Keene. Sheila oversaw repossessions, and it turns out it was more than just a rumor. The two were having an affair, and neither of them kept it quiet during working hours with one another. The main suspects then, of course, became Sheila and Michael. Michael had an alibi for the time of the murder. He was in a car with friends on his way to a racetrack when the shooting occurred. Sheila told a coworker that she had carried a gun in case something went wrong with the repo, and she was the only one that could not provide an alibi. Marlene had suspected an affair was going on and confided in not only Joe, but her mother as well. During an interview, Joe recalls the conversation. Marlene states, "If anything happens to me, your father did it." Joe responds, "No way, he would never do anything like that." Marlene says, "Don't put it past him." The same conversation she had with her mother, Marlene told her, "If anything happens to me, Mike did it." So she's already making sure that she's leaving little crumbs behind because she already suspects that Michael's having an affair. But not only that he's clearly more capable of sinister actions. Michael and Sheila eventually end up telling the police that they were just friends. Then when the police start questioning Sheila's neighbors, they say that they thought Michael and Sheila were married. While investigating Sheila's apartment, they find orange hair fibers that seem identical to the ones found in a LeBaron that was found in a local grocery store parking lot. They also found human brown hair that matched the same development stages, so the police could not make certain that the two human hairs were in fact a match. When police were searching, they found the two human hairs, that they looked identical under a microscope and all of that. But because DNA was still in the beginning stages in the early 1990s, they weren't able to utilize the DNA process yet. So under a microscope, they looked identical. When police were searching for local companies that sold Halloween costumes, they found a lady named Deborah that had sold a clown costume that same day the murder took place. Deborah said that the lady who bought the costume was in a hurry. Deborah had told the lady that she was closing and she would have to come back the next day. Deborah said the lady immediately responded with, "No, it has to be tonight." So because the lady seemed desperate, Deborah kept her shop open a little later than usual to accommodate. Deborah showed the police the receipt that the lady bought an orange wig, white gloves, a red nose, and clown makeup. Deborah remembers her being tall, about 5'10", skinny, with long, thick brown hair and big brown eyes. Deborah even picked Sheila out of a line of pictures that the police showed her. Due to the fact that Joe had stated that he saw a tall man with brown eyes, that's all the police could focus on. So not much more investigation on Sheila took place until 37 years later.
Oh my gosh.
During police investigation in 1990, they found evidence that Michael was involved in 43 counts of fraud, dealing on stolen property, notary fraud, false application of title, odometer fraud, and grand theft, to name a few. Michael ends up going to prison and was not charged with Marlene's murder. As the years passed, the case grew cold and no one knew what would become of Sheila. She seemed to just disappear. 27 years would pass before the case was reopened. In 2017, a cold case unit made a breakthrough. New important evidence came to light and the human hairs were able to be DNA tested. Of course, in conclusion, it was Sheila.
Of course it was, dumb bitch.
Yep.
That bitch, Sheila.
When the police went to find Sheila, they made one hell of a discovery, you guys. Sheila and Michael had been married to each other since 2002.
Oh my gosh.
So they were already married for 15 years before they caught up with Sheila.
Wow.
They started running a burger joint together, and Sheila changed her first name to Debbie and took Michael's last name. According to the employees that Sheila worked with, Sheila would dress as a clown for Halloween every year. By fall of 2017, the pair had retired and lived full-time at their huge house in Virginia.
She's wearing the fucking uniform, like she's almost flaunting it in people's faces, like, hey, look at me. I did this. I got away with it, and I fucking liked it. All you were going to look at me while I do this. Like, ooh, what a dumb bitch.
Yep. And she even has the orange smile. I attached some pictures so that we could, show our audience who we're talking about and stuff. And she even has the orange smile and the white face makeup and everything. It's crazy. September 26, 2017, 27 years after Marlene's murder, Sheila was finally brought in and charged with first-degree murder. When being booked by police, Sheila asked, "Well, are you going to arrest him too?" In 2022, Sheila had spent 5 years in jail, but the trial had been postponed 6 times. Finally, a plea was reached. Sheila Keene pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Because of the guidelines for time served, Sheila was expected to be released in 2025. However, she was actually released, you guys, last year.
Oh, jeez.
Pump the fucking brakes. This bitch shot somebody and killed them point blank in the face and is walking this earth again with the fresh grass and the fresh air. Could go to the beach if she felt like it. Wow.
I don't know how murderers get out at all. You killed somebody, you deserve to die too.
It's because the justice system is so broken.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
The grease paint may have faded, but the stain of that smile lingers. A knock, a balloon, a gunshot cloaked in laughter. In the end, the most terrifying monsters don't hide under our beds. They show up in broad daylight, bearing roses. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting story for me to research, because I'm pretty sure they're back together. Like, I didn't do what happened later on or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that they're just back together and they're able to live their life. And, Joe doesn't have any kind of relationship, of course, with Michael, obviously. And that's just so sad.
Poor kid, he lost both of his parents, even though one's
Well,
still
I think
alive.
he lucked out with one being a monster,
Well,
but yeah, for sure. That was a sad one.
And I can't say I don't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't.
Right.
You also have to put yourself in the frame of the husband. So you're going to act like he wasn't involved in this whatsoever. and she didn't have any motive. You can't tell me he had zero clue. And then all of a sudden they're back together and he forgives this bitch for shooting. Now, give me a fucking break.
Right. And not to mention, Marlene was already involved with many business opportunities and entrepreneurs before she even had married Michael. So then once, she died, once Sheila had murdered her, he took everything. Of course, everything's in his name now, all her businesses, everything. So as soon as he got out of jail, he just cashed that shit in, and the house is a mansion in Virginia where he lives. I did see that. That's why I put huge fucking house, because I was like, that's just pathetic and super sad.
Somehow everything's supposed to be the way it is. It just doesn't make any sense. Like shit like this is the reason why I question so many things in life. One of them being the justice system, moral ethics of people. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I won't. But I'm disturbed that this bitch could do it again.
I'm mind blown that she even dressed up as a clown for Halloween each year.
Yeah, that part was, they're just sinister people. And the justice system is all about, money, corruption, and greed to begin with, like everything else. Mm-hmm. But that's definitely, it's just who has the most money, who's willing to pay, to get out. And apparently they had enough and then some, thanks to Marlene. I'm a firm believer in karma, though.
And they will get theirs.
Yep.
Well, let's hope it's sooner than later.
Right.
Well, ladies, you really brought that shit this week.
Yeah, your stories were great. Stacey, your story to the guy lying about odometers, titles for cars, like that, those are serious crimes. Like, I'm mind blown.
That also reminded me of Matilda's dad.
Yes.
Because he was a crook with the car dealership.
That's so funny. Trench Bull.
Yes.
What did I call her?
I have no idea. Some weird.
Some other villain in some other movie, I think. I don't even know. That's so funny.
Alrighty. So my sources are thelittlehouseofhorrors.com, steelmasterusa.com, and the rest will be in the show notes. Love, what's yours?
My sources for my story is the Palm Beach Post, 48 Hours, and CBS News. I also included pictures along with their sources that will be located on the show notes.
All right. Well, that was an amazing episode. I'm so happy you guys both chose amazing stories like you always do, but you really took it to another elevated level, and I love that. And speaking of things that are elevated, we just keep bringing you some amazing shit out there. So audience, if you like what you hear, tell us the feedback. Even if it's a pat on the back or an air five or a ghost hug, we like all of those. So, give us compliments. Who doesn't like to hear those? But, we're accountable beings. We like to be told when you don't like it. If you don't like it, tell us. We can handle it. We promise. We're not going to cry. That's the kind of bitches we are.
I might cry a little bit, but I'll get over it.
That's okay. And we're here for you. We got you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next week, I'm going to be telling you the story of the Smurl family hauntings. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to bring it to you.
Ooh. And I can't wait to dive into my story on the mysterious death of Cindy James. So check us out on August 20th for the upcoming episode.
Nice. And again, I cannot believe that it took 27 years for Sheila to be held accountable, I guess, halfway. But that just proves that mysteries never sleep.
And neither do we.
Bye, bitches. Humor, haunts, and homicide.